knowing damn well how bad it hurts to expose yourself. Someone's too immersed in their own pain to go and fucking feel yours. If my heart wasn't broke, I'd have gladly healed yours. But this ain't real love, we are just children pretending to be grown. So maybe we can feel love, but this ain't that. It's delayed indifference, and I wish it was different, but it just isn't.
Hello, friends. So it's early in the year, and I'm looking through and planning out this fairly massive production schedule for my YouTube channel, Curiosity Cubed. And it dawns on me that I've been creating online content since 2005. Yes, long before there was any of the software that's around today. So I further realized that translates into like hundreds of courses and hundreds of hours of online content. So what I did is I looked through a lot of it, and I picked my top 10 most interesting, most fulfilling, most really cool courses/projects from the last 15 years. Enjoy.
Can we just skip to the end? I just wanna feel again.
3. Back in 2005, there was no software for creating online content. Everything had to be done old school and sort of from scratch. So the director wanted me to do something very unique for the students, basically to look at Western culture. So I started by looking at what countries had English actually as an official language. So there's quite a few around the world. I took the greatest ones, started developing the content, which was looking at geopolitical and culture and sports and something special that maybe came from that particular country. So the Seoul University of Foreign Studies in South Korea was one of the top 2 or 3 graduate schools for translators and interpreters. These are students who had pretty good English, actually quite good English, had probably already lived abroad or studied abroad a certain amount, and wanted to get into high companies like a Samsung, a Hyundai, an SK, that type of thing, or work with politicians or work with government officials, that kind of thing. And so I was brought in to do something rather unique. Now this is going back to 2005, long before the e-learning things of like Captivate and Articulate, and even long before LMS stuff. So this is the process we had to do. So it was 15 one-hour lectures, and I broke those down. I'll show you in a bit, but it was done over 3 days. So it was 3 days of 5 lectures each. Then you had to review the lecture and hard code the time with the slides, and I'll show you the slides in a second. And they had to be in portrait, not in landscape, because of the system they were using. And then and the assignments had to basically be verbal, and then the assignments would be sent in through their own internal sort of portal system, which is like connected to my email. So this particular course was on cultural comprehension of the English-speaking world. A bit of the economics and business, overall about Ireland breakdown, a little bit about Scotland, geography, some of the economics, Wales, where it is, some of the economics. Now, I broke these down into either 3 20-minute segments or 2 30-minute segments. In this case, I think it was 2 30-minute segments. And you need to understand the context of why this is being done, because the idea was that if these students would actually graduate and get jobs, they'd be working with people coming from potentially all of these different countries, and they had to have some idea of what it was about. But I also wanted them to make sure that they understood about some of the social and sports and cultural aspects of it. And there was one specific thing that the director of academics wanted me to deal with, and that was golf. So I did an entire golf English class, and I'll show you parts of the actual video that I still have, believe it or not, from 15 years ago, whatever it is, and back in 2005 when I did this. And when I first did this, because I had the same students in class for different courses who were also doing this, it was like, Professor Jeff, why are we studying golf? Who cares about golf? And about 3 weeks after this particular lesson, the KPGA called the school. They needed 10 students to work with professionals who were coming over from mostly the US, but different countries for a tournament. And sure enough, after that, these guys were like, oh, that was so great. I'm glad. I even watched the video again. It helped me so much about it, etc. It was great. So we talk about some basic information. We talk about some more golf about basics here. The tees, the fairway, that kind of thing. And we talk about tournament golf, what kinds of golf there is, a lot about golf etiquette, and about the common phrases and the kind of shots. And it's at this point, I'm now going to show you a little bit of the clip of what I did for Golf English for these guys to help them understand it. We got here a 3-iron and a 9-iron. Hopefully what you might be able to see between these two, one is obviously this is the 3 and the 9, much shorter, but it's the angle of the blade here. The 3 is almost straight up and down. The 9 you can see goes on much more of an angle. This is going to hit it lower and straighter. The higher the number will hit it higher and shorter. Okay, and they are used for different reasons for that purposes. Then of course we end up with our faithful old putter. Two kinds of putters. This is a basic putter. There are some now that are called like a hammer putter that have the big round part in behind here. Okay, putter is just flat, and it's just made for theoretically putting it right into the hole when you're on the green. Okay, theoretically. You may have heard the term to address somebody means to actually go up and talk to them, much like I am addressing you now. Okay, it's the same thing here. So when you're going to address the ball, it basically is that first setup when you are getting behind the ball. That all seems so simple. So why is golf so hard? Well, because when like I said, you go from address, the idea is your backswing and downswing. The average golfer isn't consistent, and that's the problem. A professional golfer does this hours a day so they can hit it consistently. But when I get up there, my address can be perfect, but I come back here, I move a bit, I move a bit, I move a bit, I shift too much, I shift too much, I shift, you know what I mean? There's like millions of things that can happen between here and back here again, golf term. So it's going to be 3, 4, we did it in par. Now, that's if you're any good. The reality is, most of us aren't that good, okay? So, for a par 4, here's what's probably going to happen. Let's say from here, I can hit it to here. That's 1. Then I hit it to here. That's 2. Then I hit it to here. That's 3. And then here is 4. And then, oh God, I'm not that good. I hit it too far. That's 5. And now I'm in. So it took me 6 shots. Okay? That's called a double bogey. So if par is 4, 5, so this is par, bogey, double bogey, triple bogey, quadruple bogey, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, if I am Woods, I might be able to do one of a couple things. I might be in a really good way, and I might be able to go, so if par is 4, remember, I might be able to go 1, 2, and then 3 in the hole. We would call that a birdie. Okay, remember, by far. So does that mean on any hole if I hit a 3 it's a birdie? No, only if it is 1 under par. Okay, so now you're coming back, you've seen the clip, and I explained some of the shots, explained what a 3-putt is. I basically was explaining what a lot of these common phrases are, because without the the video, you just wouldn't have got it. And now, if I had my choice, I actually would have done the video on a course there. Yes, that is my gear and that was my stuff on a course there so they could actually see and understand. However, again, like I said, they at first it was, why are we doing this? And then when the practical application happened and they realized how helpful this is, I didn't get any complaints about any other lesson I did for the rest of the semester or subsequent semesters after that. So it was a great my very first foray into online learning, but again, to try and make it even back then about the learner and as engaging as possible. But then the process would be, I would actually have to review the film, match it, hard copy, time code it with the slides, and then give it to the IT team, and then they would actually hard code everything in so the students could watch it. And it was at this point, sometimes we could do a refilming, most of the time we couldn't. In the next time I did this, I actually convinced them to let me do the filming, got myself a very high-end digital camera, and then did all of the content myself, which allowed me to make changes on the fly as such. Then it went to final review by me, and I would sign off, and away it would go.
Knowing damn well how bad it hurts to expose yourself. Someone's too immersed in their own pain to go and fucking feel yours. If my heart wasn't broke, I'd have gladly healed yours. But this ain't real love, we are just children pretending to be grown. So maybe we can feel love, but this ain't that. It's delayed indifference, and I wish it was different, but it